go. And then
It wasn't pouring, it just. It's like the whole thing.
hi, Kate.
Yeah, our boys were freezing and none of them had. Legal parents started showing up and having extra umbrella.
Like the last,
Yesterday was something on underneath.
the last soccer game Bruce did a few years ago, it was just pouring rain. It was,
So
all the kids were so cold.
Yeah, lots
Eric
of.
and I were like, maybe we should just bring a pop up. Just keep it in the car.
Those little,
Yeah.
little igloo things that. Let's see.
Okay. Okay. We got quorum. Cool.
Long time no see.
Thank you. I love it. I've been feeling very colorful lately. I even started buying colorful hats.
We got a few more minutes. What do you think? Actually, who would be missing? I never see Janelle or Rhonda, so.
Athena?
Oh, Athena.
Oven today.
They don't know where to go.
Same size.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's got that one on the top, but you
No,
have
like,
that green one.
Yep.
But the
No,
little
which
can
one I don't even know.
is warped. And so it rocks, like. I'm just
Put it on her.
Yeah, it's like. I leveled the oven after they didn't level it, still wrong.
Still not.
I believe Athena's on vacation until October 1st.
Okay.
So,
Could probably start, because I don't think we have, yeah, if anyone else can make it, they will. Kate, do you want to start with the updates then?
yeah, happy to. There's not a whole lot has changed since our last meeting. We're still in budget. I think all the department heads have managed to do their presentation at this point. And the public comment for the county budget, I believe, is next Monday at 5:30 in the legislature. So hopefully after that, we'll start hearing if there were any OTRs that got picked up and going to be sponsored. We had 3 that at this point weren't supported, so we'll find out what happens. But that's really kind of the deal right now. So.
Did you present yet to them, to the county, or?
Yeah, I did. We did our presentation on the 5th of September. It went pretty well. There wasn't a lot of questions. They've pretty much said it's a really, really tight year and not to expect a whole lot. So I don't know. They say that every year, and then, it doesn't seem to go that way. But this year's supposed to be different. So fingers crossed. And so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Marty, do you want to give a
Jason
briefing?
can go.
Okay.
Segue into.
Okay, Jason, do you want to give an update on town board stuff?
I mean, I guess we're just really waiting for the shrinking of the RFP. But other than that, I mean, I guess it's good that we're not going to be thinking about housing anymore.
That's what I thought I heard, but I didn't see an official thing saying that.
There's no room for it. So yeah, and I think that's what. So just take like the housing stuff out of it and then just leave it at
Okay.
y'all brought it for the was it like 6-7 acres.
Yeah. If we vote on it today, is the town board able to then vote on it to post it like this week or early next week? Because you guys probably have to approve the amendment, right?
Would be in 2
Yeah, but
weeks.
we're not meeting again until the 10th of October.
Okay.
Um, but if it's basically like I'd have to go through the minutes again, but I thought we just said together, just take the housing part out,
Okay.
and then yeah. I don't think we felt like we needed to do a resolution for the obvious. You know.
Yeah, I didn't know if you guys had to approve the amendment. That was all. I was like. I'm deleting it right now from my copy. What I'm doing. Okay. So what do you want to get into?
Oh, well,
I mean, is there anything else, Jason? It doesn't sound like there is.
No, I mean, I suppose if there's any kind of recommendation for the next year's budget to put towards this, towards the fields, I mean, we should just, I don't know, just think about that. I don't know how much it would, how much, to do, what is it, like one, like room for a soccer field and a baseball field? Is that what
I think we
they
thought it would
thought?
be hopefully, or maybe 2 ball fields, not maybe a baseball field, but 2
Yeah.
soccer lacrosse.
mhm.
Yeah,
Open space.
yeah, and then including parking, bathroom, storage.
Yeah.
Hopefully a playground to keep siblings occupied.
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and somehow a road, that's your problem, not mine.
Those are not some of your issue.
Yeah.
You just don't think
I could do that.
The random tires on my property I never got rid of from the previous.
especially big tractor tires.
I could fund this project. Race car tires, tractor tires.
Oh, I've said this in
Brake
tons of design.
Yeah.
They do, they're little numbers.
Okay. Okay, so my goal is that if we vote on this, then and approve it with taking the housing out unless there's other edits. To really just send it to, I guess, probably Cassie. Is the website working? Put in a poster on the website?
Mhm.
Is it?
It's working, but we're getting a new, are we getting a new?
It will be, I think at the end of the month, we're supposed to get a new website, but we still can put stuff on.
Yeah, my goal is just to post it for like a week or 2.
Mhm.
And resend it to the 2 consultants that we had as our final 2,
Okay.
and then move it along, because it's like, well, then we posted it. It's there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and hopefully they'll then come back with to us with slightly adjusted prices. EDRs was lower than CHA's though, I think. Or was it-
EDRs was.
EDRs was more, okay, so hopefully theirs gets lower then. And then we'll discuss who to hire after that, so that might be, end up being the next meeting that we decide on that. Give them a minute to update the prices and all that. That was the only thing I had to talk about. I told Craig to come in at 7:30 and at 7:12, and I have nothing else to discuss. Oh, but Marty has some. Can you talk for like 15 minutes or so?
I want to do one by 7:30.
Yeah.
Indiana Fever is coming tonight, by the way, 7:30, so.
Okay, we'll just let
New York
Craig know,
Liberty
we've
has
decided
moved
already.
on to the semifinals, if anyone cares.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot getting ready for winter. I'll be opening basketball registration and wrestling pretty soon, hopefully next week or the week after. We're under getting things ready for the haunted house. All that good stuff. I haven't had anything super crazy happen in soccer, football yet. Nothing new. I did speak with Dick Tupper from Portlandville about CHA. He called, I sent the references out. And I did speak with him today. We played phone tag for a week and a half. He had nothing but great things to say about them, all the projects that they've done for them. They've done like major water lines. He said there was E. coli in one system, and they put the new system in, the piping, like did all that, helped with the expansion of their town hall, their highway garages. He said if there were any issues ever, he could always call. And they would come. Her name's Laura. She would just come fix everything. She helped with the grant paperwork, did all that kind of stuff. He didn't have anything negative to say. He said he was like the accountant person there, and people were always like complaining about the price or something. And he would check other businesses, and he said it's pretty much, it was the same or cheaper than others. It's just big numbers, that
Yeah.
we're working with there. So that was that. And that leads me to this. I don't want to say this, but I want to put it out there. So since we only have 6 or 7 acres, which is a lot, it's more than we have.
It's more than 0.
It's more than 0. My only concern is if we go forward with this and we decide this is what we're gonna do, this will probably be the only thing we ever get.
Yeah.
So is everybody okay with this being the only thing we ever get?
No.
No, we're not, we'll
Well,
deal with that.
That's why I'm putting that out there, just because this, once we put it out there and we decide this is what we're gonna do and we start doing it, you can't ever ask. I mean, you can, but the residents are gonna be like, yes, let's do that again in a different.
No,
spot."
because they're already gonna probably bring up.
Right,
municipal cost. They are. I
Right.
mean,
So
You
that's-
can't
I
do any
just-
capital improvement project without it.
right, so it's just been on my mind and I just wanted to throw it out there. If anybody else has had that thought or has it and now has it in their brain of what we thought we might want or what we might want in the future, or what we really want this to look like and what we really want it to be. I would absolutely love a green space to have soccer practice. I mean, 2 nights this week, I've had people call because there's stuff going on and they don't have places to be to practice soccer. And I've been moving people around. So it would be great. It is a lot of space, don't get me wrong. I'm just thinking of long term of what we really want. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I don't want to throw a wrench into any of this, but
What is missing from for you,
Yeah, I mean, I
this
think the
plan?
goal is to fill whatever is really missing for you, so we're not so dependent on the school district.
Yeah.
right, I mean, so having soccer fields, open space is great, but is that all?
Rec center.
Right.
There's no
yeah,
room for a
this is-
rec center.
Right, no, that's what she's
But
saying.
now
Right,
talking
that's what I'm
about
saying.
this- Right, not this location, like if we do something at this location,
This is
it
it,
will make it difficult to do
anything else.
another larger project.
The rec center is gonna happen when there's another housing project, and I'll sit in with the housing committee and say, putting a rec center with your housing.
Well,
I'm not even necessarily just saying that, I'm just putting it out there in case anybody hadn't thought of that. Just
Can I ask why?
why?
Pretend I'm an idiot, but what do you mean this might be the only thing we should, like, what's the,
So if you build these rec fields, if you build rec fields in a parking lot and a road and bathrooms. And then say 5 years down the road, you're like, oh, we would like, now we need a baseball field and maybe a football field and rec center, or, all in this area. The town of Dryden, the residents of Dryden are not going to say, that's a great idea to put another facility.
Like, I mean, this thing could
somewhere."
be like primarily like funded by grant funding, and they're still gonna be creating it.
There's
So they're
gonna
gonna
be
look at
pushback.
they're gonna look at the numbers as a whole and just be like, really, I mean, that happens with school.
Because
capital budgets
unfortunately,
too. I mean, it's-
the
yeah.
recreation department in the grand scheme of things in the town is not, it's very low. It's not a big. It's not a
My
They'll
understanding
think
is that
about
there
it.
was like some pushback of getting like the playground built in Montgomery Park.
Yes, so
So it's,
it's
think
just
about
not
that.
something that people feel like we need, that there's other things that could be built or taken care of, which is absolutely
Yeah.
true. So I just, and also historically, what they wanted to do before, you know, I know that was different. It was a lot of money and, you know, they put it out there and people were like, no. So I'm just putting it out there. I mean, if I buy new cheerleading uniforms this year and in 5 years, I'm like, I need to buy new ones. They're like, why you just got them 5 years ago, you know, and they're falling apart. That's just how it is because it's not a need in people's minds.
Perceived need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is just kind of an extra, right, for the tech,
Yeah,
not for me.
Right.
Not for me.
It's not an extra, but that's how
that's how it gets
some people will
perceived.
see it, you know,
Yeah.
and that's, I think there's part of, for us, the messaging of, you know, what we're trying to do, all of this stuff, the recreation department, the programs, recreation space, is designed to improve all of our quality of life and provide a good quality of life in Dryden. That we don't just have a place where people can live housing wise, but they have a place where they can, you know, live and really, live. And, you know.
I might be
do
completely
activities.
wrong and off base, but I just don't want,
I mean, the way I would think about it is that like, it just feel like the green space makes sense, and that we need, you know, and the other part of the process of planning it is probably, you know, community meetings, which go south very fast. But even just to get an idea of surveying what people are looking for, I mean, you know, we do that before we start a housing project. It gives you a kind of a good insight of where the community feels on certain things and takes certain things into account, right? Like the playground that we have at one of our properties, we work with the neighborhood kids to design. And then there's a mural over by BJM and one of our newer ones that the kids, you know, drew up, like, so community input like that, I think helps it a little bit too, because then it makes it feel
yeah.
more ownership to it. So,
Yeah.
but I always envisioned that would be the fields because it needs to happen. We can't really build a big
Yeah, and
building.
then the thing that, I think, I mean, not a lot of, not every, no, there are some people who, the only thing that's always been a little bit of a barrier, but I think it's not really from everybody. I think it's just certain people. They talk about trying to like any kind of bigger thing has to be in the middle of the town, but it doesn't
There's no
really
middle
have
of town
to.
in Dryden though, really.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like no one can, like, how's anyone gonna get there unless they got a car? But you also got to figure out where you actually have land and stuff. So that's really what.
I just
So I
want
don't,
to put it out there because
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing to put out.
Yeah.
We don't have to consider.
yeah, but it's like I don't think putting a couple of ball fields behind town hall is going to say, "Oh, we're all done with rec now." I don't even think that's
Well,
close.
we like to think that, but.
I-
I mean, I think.
I mean, I will say I'm leaving like the rec center on there, not because I think there'll be a big rec center, but I'm still like, if there's a way to throw like a classroom size building in there, that would be
I mean,
cool.
if we're doing the design they did for that other town on 6.5, and we're not having the two pools.
If it's not a pool, then it's classroom, but they didn't
Right.
include, we realize, so we do have to.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
no
that,
parking.
yeah, the parking,
yeah, well,
parking is an issue, I think, and, cause I walked up here the other day. And I was just kind of thinking about like, you know, even having like a small building or smaller building, I guess,
Yeah.
that you can have, that you could do basketball in and stuff like, you know, like that, just limited space, we could do that. But do we really need something, you know, like that would really.
Even a space like a building, create a building like our cheerleaders can have practice.
Well, that's what I was
I
thinking.
mean, they've
It's like-
got this huge mat that they're
Yeah.
storing upstairs and they
I
can.
mean, there's like overall craziness for the rec center, and I'm like, about talking about a YMCA, I'm literally talking about like, can we just put a classroom somewhere to
Like the
throw a
Lansing
program?
Community Center building or whatever.
Or like the barn, or the barn.
No
They
bullshit.
did that.
well, I mean, the thing, like one thing that's pretty much available now, the church at the Four Corners.
The white.
They don't. Yeah, that one. I mean, they already have spaces they
Jason.
would rent out to us temporarily, and they might even sell the building.
That would be nice.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about that.
So I mean, they're really looking to do that. I went over there with Ray and Murphy and a couple other people a few months ago, and they don't have any, like, the congregation has no way to support the building anymore. So all they would look for is being able to use the space upstairs where they hold services, but other than that, the building is, you can do whatever you want with it. So, but even if that was just temporary, I mean, like, you don't. The thing is this: there's grants and stuff from the state, from Empire State Development for bigger projects,
Yeah.
for community centers and all that stuff, and getting the two villages to actually partner with the town instead of Village of Dryden always coming to the town saying, please help us, on something that might not even be in the village, is I mean, I don't know, it's probably doable. It's just like, when all you gotta do is think about, like, whatever it is you're going to build, you got to remember it's going to be there for like 50, 60 years before it probably needs totally renovated or something. So it's just, once you factor in all that, but if there's demand for it, and there probably is, then there's no point in not having that concept. And then, because you got to find the place for it, that's going to take longer than probably building the darn thing. I mean, really, that's the way it is. Just I figure for this, as a town, we got to settle on a spot and then just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, and then, I think the location thing, like, because we've heard that one before, like, it
Yeah.
needs to be centrally located. Like, I think if we can change people's concept that it needs to be
Population.
central to the population, and
It needs to
not,
be,
like, that's the thing is,
Needs to be walkable
Needs-
from
it needs to be
school.
easy to get to too.
yeah, easy to get to, and
Yeah.
where are the most people, and the most people are going to use it, and that's really going to be the Dryden Freeville part.
Yeah.
Of it. It's more than running it or anything. But
It's
yeah,
like, where do the buses go? That's an easy.
I mean, that's what you really have to think of. Yeah.
That's all I had to ruin everybody's day.
No, I didn't think it ruined it at all. Like, because that's
That's-
what's gonna happen. People have opinions.
right. Well, that's why I'd like that. Hey, it's not really the great spot, but the spot where they want to put Ezra Village would be an awesome spot for a large town park with a multi-use facility in. But
That ship sailed.
But I think there's also land not far from there, though. It's wide open. I don't know if it's as big, but it's so anyway. But you have to be able to pay for it and acquire it and all that, and but just picking a couple of places to say this is where we want to do it, and this is what we would do there. Because I think some of the grants, sometimes they'll include acquisition costs for the land.
Yeah.
right.
So, and then just figuring out how to pay for it. Like, it's not going to be 100% grant, but the town doesn't need 100% grant to do something like this.
Right.
And we don't have to throw big sales or whatever. I mean, we're able to support it, especially with these. If all this construction gets built, you're going to have a whole
There's more tax. Yeah.
more tax base, and then depending on what, I mean, really, I don't know what the village is going to do with the Ezra Village, like how they're gonna, if it's gonna be a PUD or what, but they can have them also contribute actual money towards recreation,
Right.
and it's allowed by state law. It's just getting the village trustees to actually understand that they can do stuff like that is the trick. I'm I talk about it with them, with Murphy, and I'm like, you know, you can have people do this as part of the approval,
They really should, yeah.
but whether they're gonna do it or not, I don't know.
Not road.
And the town doesn't have any
North
say in
Road,
that. Yeah,
Behind Dollar General.
Yeah.
yeah. Because if that project were coming to the town board, that's what one of the things we'd probably require is you put a certain amount of money towards recreation and for building facilities. So
Maybe you don't know this off the top of your head, Jason, but is there and how much money is in the rec reserve fund still?
not a lot. A bunch got used towards the trail.
That
Which
darn
is-
rail trail.
Which they said they were gonna repay off of fundraising.
Yeah, but
Oh, well.
it's not the kind of thing I can't get. Like the other thing too is you know, because of that, when we tried to buy that property, from that was near the Campbell Met, like way back in 2016, there was that whole vote on buying a piece of land that would have been turned into a park right down off of Pinckney Road. And it didn't succeed because the people who opposed it said we're going to take money out of programs when it was just the reserve fund that was going to be used to spend like 40,000 or something out of it. It was ridiculous. And anyway, the thing is, like using the reserve fund opens it up to referendums anyway. So there's a down like the positive of it is you can't touch it for anything else. The negative is if about 150 people decide they don't want something, they can put it up for a vote, and then you have no idea what's going to happen. So you're better off like raising the funds over the over time, and leaving it in the general fund, or financing it somehow, which by the time project like if a bigger one were to come out, the interest rates are bound to be lower anyway than they are now because they're already going down. So but for this immediate thing, yeah, you just change the RFP to do what can be done, and then
We'll take it from there.
and then let's start up a whole new thing about
So we
if you
don't
get
need that
a
price
proposal.
that you sent, Leslie, for the.
Yeah, CFG gave us a price for historical person, but we actually don't need that. Did we get any references from EDR?
No, because I didn't know if you,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we.
I wasn't
we
sure
should,
if
I
you,
guess.
well, I mean, I was going to, but
Yeah.
we kind of did a complete 360 and I wasn't sure what was happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably worth asking because I think we're still gonna.
Yeah,
let them
I can
and
see that. I
CFG.
just wasn't
mean,
sure what we were,
Yeah,
after the town board meeting, I wasn't sure what we were doing.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, they just put like some of the like local planners in it for the references.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I mean, I feel like if you're gonna put a reference on there.
That's what I usually think, but as long as you can say you did our due diligence, right?
Yeah, I will do that tomorrow.
Okay, but yeah, is it worth hiring like a consultant or something to look into feasibility as to where to even put a community center? Like, or is that something we would just do as our, like,
I think we should probably do I think, oh God, what Marty didn't like. Was there some time, like, a couple years ago? There was wasn't there a survey done by somebody though already
Yeah,
about
I
this?
think
Like you did, because I remember going to the fire hall like for Halloween or something, and there were people outside at a table.
Oh, that wasn't me. It's too much
I
work.
don't know who that was. That was a long time ago.
There was a,
I feel like there was one, but it was like what they suggested wasn't from any input from anyone here.
no, but they
Yeah.
also had, what was the other group, Dave? Your wife. Said it.
Well, the community center cafe,
There was that one, but then there was after that.
there's also been the community spaces.
Yes,
Group, that's kind of,
yes,
I don't know, gone.
because they had done some stuff like that. They had done some asking. And I had done some asking a couple of years, maybe 18 or 19.
Right, yeah.
We
Maybe
have
that's what I'm thinking of.
um the library, I
Mhm.
think helps
Mhm.
as well.
Right.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, yeah, who do
Well, and that was.
if we pinpoint, like, even if we do already have places in mind, because people have already done this a few times over, then the next step is like, who do you talk to about feasibility? And again, is that something we'll discuss with town and village as to what you guys have funds for? Or is that, again, is that something where you talk to like an architect or not an architect, like an engineer or something, like to say if it even is doable to put a building in or renovate this building for,
Or a wetland specialist.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Moving
Like the
on
next
from
step is really to like, if the next step after that would be to confirm an actual feasible location.
Yeah, I mean but that's something like Ray and Gina should be able to help with. I mean,
Right here.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Ray's mentioned a spot right off 366. Like there's a farm, like there's a big plot of land.
Right on the corner, 366 and 13, you mean?
Yeah, somewhere near there. There was like it's behind, there's a yellow house or something. It's this
Yeah.
huge thing.
yeah.
I do.
But behind that there's a
Marty
big
knows
field.
I think Marty has dibs.
Yeah, it's me. It's me.
I mean, he told me, well,
I'm
yeah, it
not
was
selling
you.
it.
But yeah.
We're not taking it. I'm letting
But
Craig
then
quick, because he said he was gonna just sit on the RFP thing
It's off the market.
a second.
Yep.
Okay. Just letting,
But yeah, there are, I mean, I think there's a bit of like,
I did admit him. There we go.
yeah, it's just takes.
Yeah, I was like, what happened? Hi, Craig.
You know, where we can do some drive around and looking for space, you know, to be in and talk about that was kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about like doing
Eventually.
it. I'm all about looking at very serious look at things and we pick our like top three and then someone actually
So
does the
it's-
numbers
Mhm.
and then we know where to go from there.
Mhm.
You also have to pick ones that we know people will actually be selling or,
Right,
you know,
right.
also it doesn't mean anything to.
Yeah.
Might be interested, so.
They own that. They
Yeah,
own.
yeah.
Craig.
You think they want to?
Hi, Craig.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So we talked about the RFP amendment a little bit, and it sounds like we're removing the housing from there. Did you hear about that from the last town board meeting?
I did not hear that, no.
Back in the inside.
When did they decide to do that?
At the last town board meeting.
No, I didn't know that.
Well, for the 6 acres, it doesn't make any sense anymore. So
Shouldn't they at least try, Jason?
There's a
why
I mean, there's some steep land over there that they could put houses on, so.
in the wetland part?
Yeah.
No, up between the DPW and the houses that are up on East Main Street.
My guess is that becomes.
Yeah, but that's not near. I think you're talking about a different spot from where we're talking about where the fields would be, though.
Well, why don't you let them see if they could put some incorporate a few houses in there?
Because you know, I mean, I'll look. We asked. There's a sense of the board, but I'd have to check the minutes because they're not ready yet because we didn't do a resolution. But nobody thought it made sense to do any housing there anymore.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there's other places to focus on the housing that are a lot more productive than to me than spinning our wheels on the 6 acres. That's how I feel about it. I mean, it just feels like it's all you got to do is continue to fight about something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense when there's other places we could direct our energy and our money.
Okay.
That's how I mean, I can tell you if I got to put it to a resolution, I'll say exactly that at the board meeting.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'll have 2 other votes at least with me. I might have all 5 because I don't even know that Leo like looks at it and thinking that makes any sense anymore. So
Well, I know it's a small tract of land, but
yeah, I mean the thing to focus if you want to try to get houses in the whole thing is to figure out how to deal with the wetland part, but that would have to be a separate much longer term thing, because I know the property there's probably a man-made wetland because it used to be farmed, so there's farm tile there. But that's a much longer process to figure that stuff out than to just get a couple of fields on the 6 acres we got that we know we can do it now.
Yeah.
And I think that would make a lot more
You're,
sense.
you're the boss, so I'm not.
I'm
I
just
just
saying, like, it's not like it's not a like you need to do, if the problem with rec and why everybody feels so like down on it all the time is because no action ever happens. So how about take some action on what you can do, and then if you still want to look at the other stuff, that's a much longer process dealing with DC and Army Corps, and it doesn't mean it can't happen, but it's, if you want to get something done in the next, even 18 months, we know a place where we can get something done that meets the needs of the community right now.
Yeah.
And then you could still work on the other stuff, which would probably take 2 years anyway to fight with these people. Because I mean, if it's taken, how long to to get a freaking bridge built in Varna because we're fighting with the state.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be fighting 10 years on something and all the people you want to serve with a couple of soccer fields will have, gone on to college even. so they're not going to need it anymore.
No,
So
I hear you.
That's my feeling on it. Just like it doesn't mean it's the end. It just means that get done what you can now, and
Okay, so you saw where I added some things to that. Leslie, you saw that?
Adding to the RFP.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. Somehow they got to connect the sidewalk to the village sidewalk.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I updated that internal sidewalks that connect to village and Dryc sidewalks.
And I think I don't know if Jason may disagree, but I think you ought to include the trying to find access to the Cornelius property up there.
It's still
it's
still on there for now because I didn't know if you guys talked to him.
Let them look at it because they're they have a different attitude because the town's obligated to do that. So whether it's connecting it through the park or, I mean, you still could go around it too on the east side.
Yeah.
So, so I think I'd let them at least acknowledge that needs to be done and at least come up with some alternatives to that. I think it would help the town in the long.
I still have it on there unless Jason's that changed at all, but are we still obligated to do that?
For the moment, I'm gonna see if we can get out of it, or I mean, Ray thinks that there's an alternate to that anyway. I mean, there was a long time ago that Bernie had wanted to connect on the east side of the town hall from up that way. Anyhow, so but the thing is that the other part of this would be to maybe I don't know. I kind of want to ask you what he'd want to. I have some ideas on how to do things. I just don't want to throw it out there yet.
Okay.
So it's just like I still got to talk with him because and I'm gonna see if I can figure something out. But I don't.
But yeah, no, I kept that in there, Craig, and adjusted the link.
Well, it sounds like Jason wants it out though. So.
Well, the road part, I don't. I mean, if I wouldn't.
I think we should keep it in for now because even if just so we have also a solid.
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt to keep it in,
right? At least you'll know. That's what I think. I think just for the consultants to really straight up tell us we cannot find a way to do this without this permitting it. You'll probably be told no because you need to be given a solid reason as to why you need access, and access to a private homeowner's, private owner's land is probably not on the list.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then, so the other question I had, Leslie, was: did anybody notify the 4 applicants about anything?
I have not yet. I was going to once we finalize this to let them know that it's been amended and then post it.
So I would write them a thank you letter and say, thanks for that, and then throw the town board under the bus for for changing the RFP, so, because you guys have to work with these people, so. You know, they say, after discussion with the town
Craig.
board, yeah,
I did contact 2 of the 4 that you're speaking of.
okay.
Because, it's my job. And I don't think we need to throw anybody under the bus if they're people we're working with.
Well,
I think,
you're
I think they
not gonna be-
understand because they're the ones who told us that
Yeah, but
it
you're
wasn't
asking them to
possible.
do more work, that's why. I mean, that's a lot of work that they presented to us, and they gotta do it again, so. But it's all right.
Yeah,
That's fine.
CHA also just got in touch with us with the archaeological survey, so I was waiting to hear back from them on that as well. Like, they just got back to us on that price and we're finishing up references. So we've been in touch with them and we'll be reaching back out to them to let them know of the change. So
I did speak with Lauren, and he didn't think you'd have to do any historical. For
yeah, so we'll let them know and thank them for reaching out to someone. Like, they got in touch before we decided that we weren't going to use the historical.
Right.
So.
All right, well, those are my 2 cents. Thanks for your time. I'm
Yeah.
gonna scoot. You don't need me anymore, so anyway.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Can we vote real quick?
Sure. If you can.
Okay, so I just need a motion for us to vote on the amendment of the RFP, given the changes, which includes removing the housing, which is the only change from the draft I sent. So we get a motion?
I motion.
Okay, who's in second?
I'll second.
Okay, who wants to vote on it? 1, 2, 3, vote. For yes, there we go. There's no no's. Okay, cool.
There was an abstention, so.
Okay. We good in ending the meeting, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night all.